evening, basement dwellers. Today I am going to show you how to do basic body angles. So let's get into this. Okay, so first of all, this is usually how I do body angles. So we have it split into torso X, torso Y, torso Z, hips X, hip Z, position X, position Y, and position Z. These are all on physics parameters linked to body XYZ, position XYZ. For the purpose of today's model, we are just going to be doing the X, Y, and Z. Okay. Did I explain that right? I think I explained that right. I'm gonna say I explained that right. To be completely honest, I'm not even sure if I'm live right now, but I guess I'm gonna keep rolling with this. Okay, so for the torso X, we want the torso to rotate. For the torso Y, we want the shoulders to go up and down with the chest rising and falling. And then for torso Z, we want to bend it left and right. And because this is a simple model and we're not doing the hips physics, I'm going to be doing a little bit of leg movement in this as well. Okay, so here's the model. First, I want to create the parameters for this. So we want torso X, Y, and Z. And I usually put this on -30 to 30. There we go. Oh, I forgot to start my timers. I should do that so I can keep track of how long I'm working on each project. Let's see. Okay, there we go. That should be good. There we go. Where was I? I lost my train of thought. I do that sometimes. Okay. Torso X, Y, and Z. Right. Okay. So something that I like to do for torso X, and we're going to make a limited range of motion on this, just to make it easy for ourselves. You could consider this a beginner tutorial once I edit this stream. So I want to take the chest and the torso. You know what? Let's take the skirt in this as well. And then we call this body. We bind this to torso X. And to do this real quick, we are going to go into the menu up here. And then we are going to see, where is it? Apply 3D rotation expression. There we go. So this is going to generate it for us. And we want to change the mapping here because we do not want this on angle X and angle Y. We want the X direction to be on torso X. The Y direction, we're going to remove that, but for now I'm gonna dump it on torso Y. Usually I put this one on position Z, which is the lean. But we don't have a lean for today, so we're just going to dump that and delete it afterwards. Okay. So I want this to be a little bit more subtle. Let's say 10-degree turn. How does that look? Okay, okay, not mad about that. I think that is a good amount of rotation there. I also forget to put the bow in this, so we can just drag and drop our deformers. There we go. And now it's in there. It's very handy. So let's make sure the chest has more of a pop in this direction. Because the chest sticks out from the rest of the body, right? So naturally, it should have a bit of a it should have more depth to it, basically. Now let's make sure that that depth is reflected in the other layers too. So we're gonna make sure that that is all good. So as you can see, while the rotation looks like a flat plane, around the chest, it's starting to look more 3D. And this will happen as we move things around. So for example, take the chest bow and we bind that. And we make sure that stays in the middle. Maybe curve this a little bit and spread this out that way. And that looks good. As you can see, we're creating depth here as well with the ribbons. Now, I want to unbind this from torso Y because this doesn't make sense unless you're making a lean. So we're gonna unbind that. And then we're going to select the skirts. Make sure that's somewhat even on the left and the right. We're going to Control-Shift-C and Control-Shift-V. We do that Control-Shift-V on the other side as well. So now only the upper body moves, and usually you want to create it still until about this part in. But because we don't have a hip wiggle, it's fine to put the hips on the torso. Let's give that a bit of a rotation, actually. Just a slight bit. I think that's too much.
Leave those doors open for a couple of minutes to see if they want to run back and forth or have you like...
I'm right in the middle of making a tutorial.
Yeah, but you're streaming and I'm talking about bunnies. What do you think is more important?
Hop in the
Bunnies.
stream, first thing I see is booba. Well, it'd be like that. Okay, so we want that to be a little bit more subtle. Okay, I think that looks good. Okay, so we are going to reflect motion on that. We want to reflect motion on the rest here as well. Toasty messing up your tutorial? I know, right? Yeah, welcome to the stream. Okay, so we got a good rotation going here. So now I want to take the neck. Let's see if that's bound to anything. It is not, which means we can freely do things with that. But I think I just want to take what's on the neck rather than the neck itself. How's your hand? Have I injured yourself again? Yeah, I overworked my hand. It's fine. It's doing better now. It was just a bit bad for a few days. Why? Why? Okay, anyway. That's too far of a rotation, so let's make that a little more subtle. There we go, that's better. Let's make sure the torso follows that. Okay, good. And now we're going to reflect motion on that. Make sure that it's fine on both sides. Okay, good. So we got the middle done, basically. The middle And usually I wouldn't move the hips with it, but again, because this is a simple model, we're not going to have any hip swing, which means we can just put everything on the torso, basically. Okay. Now we want to grab the arms. So I want to separate this between left and right. There we go. This should be arm left, because it's her left, and our right. And this is arm right, because it is, again, her right. Okay, now what we're going to do is, when she's turning this way, I want the arm to rotate slightly and pull that in. That is too far in. This is basically vibes based. I don't really have a set rule for what we're doing here. We're just going off of what I think looks good. Okay. And then on the opposite side, we're gonna swing the arm out a bit. And this is like, you know, she's trying to find her balance. Ooh, raise the shoulder. We can drag that out a little bit. We can drag that out a little bit further. Okay, and then raise the shoulder up. Okay. You know what? We can move this in a bit. I am not unhappy with this. I think this looks good. So now we're gonna do the same on the other arm. Did you save? I did. Yes, we're fine. The saves are fine. I need to cook up a new shirt design that's as sus as I can make it without being banned on Twitch. Walking the line, huh? Okay, so we're going to do the same on this side. Gonna raise that shoulder up. Needs to be raised a little bit further. And then we can move this in a bit. There we go. And when I move it in, I am only moving the upper arm in with the brush tool. Okay, and then we rotate this one in. And I want this to go out a little bit. I think I want to do the same on this side. Just... There we go. Okay, that looks good. You know what? I'm actually really happy with that. Although we need to adjust the neck a little bit. Thank you for the stretch and hydrate. Oh, I don't have a drink. Let me go get a drink real quick. I finished my coffee earlier. We got a new coffee machine, by the way. It's really good. Okay, I have returned with a drink. Old one broke. Oh yeah, a while ago. Like a while ago. I have Monster now, by the way. Yeah, our old coffee machine, we had to get rid of it a while ago. In the meantime, I've just been having instant coffee, which isn't bad. It does its job, but it's not good. So now we got one of those coffee machines that takes pods. Which... What are you two doing behind me? Sorry, bunnies are grooming each other right behind me. But, yeah, the pods are more expensive. but it tasted really good. Sound was the hint for Monster. Yeah, I just cracked open a can. Okay, anyway, the more I yap, the more I'm gonna need to edit this video. So... What I want to do for the neck is I want to take this in a little bit and take it out on this side. That might be too far, actually. You know what? That might be too far. Oh, you know what? I need to take this in a bit, but that looks good. I'm actually happy with that. So I'm going to reflect motion on that. And that looks good. I like that. Make her yap more. Nothing bad about yapping. You've been missing a week? I have. Although I have not missed a single week for my rigging streams, to be fair. Let me save. Okay. So we got the torso X done. Kind of. I need the legs. Hold up. Almost forgot the legs. And the legs are surprisingly one layer each. So that makes it easier for me. Usually you want multiple layers in the legs. I just want to preface that. You want multiple layers in the legs, but for simplicity's sake, one layer's fine. As long as it's not both legs on one layer, because I would have a migraine if that happened. One of my YouTube shorts has done pretty good. I was hype. Yay! Congrats! That's always a good feeling when your content gets a little bit more views. Rigging doesn't kill your hand as much. You'd think that. You know, you'd think that. You would think that. 250 views, let's go. Let's go! Okay. So, what I want to do for the legs, and usually this again would be bound to the hips, to the hip swing. But since we don't have hip swing on this model, we're going to just put this on the torso X. So what I want to do is create a sizable brush that's just big enough to not cover the tips of the feet. This is very important. You want to leave the tips of the feet in place where they are. Do not move them. Especially when you're a beginner rigger. It is crucial that you please do not move the feet. Because this is actually... Okay. It is weird, but this is how I spot beginner riggers other than the angles being a bit awkward. When the feet are floating around. So if anyone's watching this tutorial that I'll have edited on YouTube eventually, please do not move the feet unless you know what you're doing. So we're gonna take the brush and we're gonna move to the side. And then we want to smooth that movement out without moving the toes. Yes, keep model grounded. Exactly, exactly. We want to keep the model grounded. There we go. Now you can see she's moving her knee over. I'm grounded. Well, in terms of your model, you definitely are. Your model does not float. Unless you have it set up in VTube Studio so that it does, which I don't know why you would, because I have it pre-set up that it doesn't. Okay, now when we move to the other side, I think it looks better if only one leg moves on the torso X. And I will explain why. If we lean this leg to the side on this side, and we lean the other leg to the side on the other side, then the moment you get to this point of the movement, it starts looking really awkward. It starts looking jumpy. And we don't want that. We want this to look smooth, elegant, and we just want this to look good. Technically, I canonically floaty because I don't have feet. Fair. Fair. Okay, so what we're gonna do when we lean to the other side is we're gonna make a less dramatic bend. It doesn't look quite right when this leg doesn't move at all. So we are going to make a little bit, just a tiny bit of a bend on this leg. Just a tiny bit. Just something super smooth, you know? Just subtle. We're making it subtle. There we go, and that looks good. I actually like that. I am not upset about that. Now we're gonna grab the tail. We're just gonna move this around a little. By the way, I prefer to have tails drawn straight because I can barely move this. Like, I will not be able to properly move this tail because of the bend. It will not bend the other way. So, that's unfortunate. But it's a choice made. So, who am I to argue about that? Okay. So the tail might need to move a little bit less dramatically. There we go. The tail moves, and then the bow in the back will need to move over a bit as well. Okay. Let's do the wings. Okay. And that is good for now. What I could do with the wings is include it in the 3D rotation expression. That might actually work for this. Okay, so torso X, torso Y, we want the wings. Update keyforms. Oh, that is too much. That is too strong. too strong. Let's have that. Let's absolutely have that. Okay, you know what? I can work with that. We might need to tone that down even further. Okay. I like that actually. Okay, we're gonna go with that. And then pull this back because there's a depth to that. And that's how that looks. Cancel my feet pics on Feet Finder. Should comment on more of your shorts for the engagement, for the algorithm. I mean, I appreciate it. Obviously, I would appreciate it. But I think my algorithm is okay. Surprisingly. Surprisingly, my algorithm is okay. Shockingly. I think the videos that need engagement boosts are the long form videos rather than the shorts. Because the shorts are usually like picked up by the algorithm at some point. It's the long form videos that need a bit of a boost. Mine's lacking, hence why my last few streams had like 1 average viewer. Oh yeah, today's stream I don't think is doing very well either for me, but you know, it be what it be. Sometimes that's just how it is. Okay. So we are completely done with the torso X, and now let's see how that looks in motion. And this is without any of the body physics, by the way, because we're going to make the arms move in physics, we're going to make the chest move in physics, we're going to make the clothes move in physics. This is just how it looks static. These are just the basic angles. So let's see how that looks. So we want to add a physics group, and we call this torso X. We leave the input preset blank, and the physics, I have one for this, body physics. And I want to put the reaction time on, let's put it on 0.4. Why not? So on the input, we want the body X, type angle, effective 100%, with the angle minimum being 60 and the maximum being 60. And then on the output, we have torso X. And now we move her around a little bit, you know, swing her around. Make sure we have the maximum output on her. And then we increase. And then we decrease a little bit, so we stay under 100 on the output. And this is how she moves. You see there's a slight bit of a delay compared to the head. Her bounce back is very slow. Sorry, I kind of spaced out there. But I like how that looks. So what we're going to do next is we're gonna do torso Y. Now usually the whole body goes up and down on position Y rather than torso Y. But since we're not doing position on this model, we're not doing any of the position parameters on this model, we're gonna make her bounce up and down a little on the torso Y. So the usual deforming here is we take torso, and on the torso up, we take the entire body. And on the torso up, her chest moves up. I think I need a different deformer for this. Okay. So what we're going to do is we create a new deformer with the body and the arms. Create, and then bind it to torso Y. And on the +30, we want her chest to lift and her shoulders to drop. And on the -30, we want her chest to drop and her shoulders to lift. And this is the usual torso Y. This is all we usually do to torso Y, because the rest of the Y movement will be coming from position Y usually. But again, we're going to be changing that up a little bit. So we're gonna get the head, the halo, the neck, and the deformer we just created. Let's get the bow back and the wings as well. And we're going to make a new deformer for that. And I'm still gonna be calling it position Y just so I know what it does. But what we do here on the +30 is we lift everything up. That's it. We just lift. And on the torso Y down, we go down. Might be a little bit too dramatic. So we have a little bit of a bounce even with limited deformers and parameters that we're using. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to take the legs. We want to make her stand on her tippy toes, basically. So we take everything except for the toes. We want to go up and out. Make extra sure that the heel is lifted there. And then when going down, we want to go down and in and make sure the heel is down. As you can see, the toes stay in place, the toes never move. And then we do the same on the other side. Let's fix this up. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I like how that looks. And then we take the tail. Oh. And we make sure that this kind of follows the body around. There we go. That's doing its own thing. So now we're gonna go into physics settings and we're gonna go and duplicate the torso X and say torso Y. we replace the body X on the input with body Y, and on the output we replace torso X with torso Y. And this is how she moves. And this is without any physics in place. These are just the basic body angles. Okay, so that's very jittery, and I know why. I forget. We select everything that's on both torso X and torso Y. Let's see, what did I bind here? Is it just the legs? It might be just the legs and the tail. Okay, and then we synthesize corners, which the shortcut for that is Control 4, but you can also get to it from the menu. And that should be a better look. Yep, immediately less jittery. So these are the basic body angles X and Y, and they are limited angles for simplicity. So we don't have a huge range of motion on this, but it is a solid motion. Now the last one we have for today for the body is the torso Z, which is leaning left to right. Let's see what we grab for this. I'm gonna say position Y is probably a good one to use for this as well. So what I want to do here is I want to bind that, and then with the selection tool, I want to grab the upper body. And what I'm gonna do is I'm literally just going to rotate that. Rotate, drag. Oop. And because we only selected the upper body, that's the only part that moves. We're gonna fix the arms in a second. There we go. Okay. We're gonna need to fix the wings as well. But for now, let's reflect motion on that. And then we want to synthesize corners. And now we grab the wings. And actually I want to make a separate deformer for that. Make sure that's on top of the wings. There. And then I want to fix the wings. And this doesn't have to be precise, because it's actually going to look okay if it squishes a little bit. It's not gonna look terrible, because the wings will look stiff just on their own. Just make sure there's a bit of cohesion to it. Like that. And then we reflect motion on that. And that's how that looks. Now we want to grab the arms. which are over here. Oh. And we're going to just adjust the lower arms there. Okay, that looks like the arm gets thinner, which we don't want, so we stretch that out a bit. We don't want the fingers to suddenly get longer, so we account for that too. And then we again reflect motion on that.
Come on.
Get out of shrimp? Never. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'll get out of shrimp. Just give me a second. Okay. And this looks good. I like that. Oh, let me stretch. There we go. Okay. So that should be fine for the torso Z, and usually there would be some hip swing attached to that. But we're not doing hip swings right now. We're just doing the torso. Did I hear a back crack? It's your imagination. You imagined that. There was no back crack. So again, we duplicate this. Torso Z, and we go body Z. Output settings, torso Z. And now this on its own is okay. You see the little bit of delay between the head and the body, but what I like to do is I like to reflect. Just to give it a little bit more of a pop. Oh, I need to adjust hair gravity. Let's see how that looks on 50%. It needs to be lower than that. 40%. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. It's fine though. And this is how the basic body angles look. Of course, there's going to be physics on top of this. But this is solid for basic movement. Especially for a beginner, adding more on top of the movement is going to make it look messier if you don't know what you're doing. So I think my tip for beginners would be to stick to small movements at first. Because if you mess up on the small movements, it's not going to be as noticeable as when you mess up on the big movements. So it's just overall going to look better until you're confident to tackle those big movements. Is the fire on the tail going to be animated? Yes, it is. Hoping I'm not imagining this stream like last week. Yeah, O5 was messing with you. Okay, actually. Looking good. You know what? Let's do the legs. You know what? Let's do the legs. We need another deformer on top of the one we already made per leg. We bind this to torso Z. And as she bends this way, we want this to be down and in. Not that far down. More like this. And then when she moves that way, up and out. And then we do the same with the other leg. When she bends that way, up and out. And when she moves that way, down and in. Again, we're not moving the toes. And what I want to do is adjust the skirt. And reflect motion on that. Okay, let's see how that looks. Gonna head to bed now, way past my bedtime, but I hope you have a great stream. Okay, thanks for hanging out. I do like the wiggle. I do like the wiggle. The skirt, a bit too dramatic though. We're gonna have to, make that a little less dramatic. Okay. That's less dramatic. That's good. And this is how the basic body angles look. What do you think? Was this helpful? Now, as a bonus, what we could do is external application integration and connect this to VTuber Studio and see how she moves in real time during tracking. As you can see, I am currently tracking her, and she doesn't move as dramatic as my main model, obviously. But this is how the movement looks in tracking. head movement is really nice. We're not talking about the head today. We're doing body movement. What do you mean? Is the body movement not good? Is it bad? Let me turn myself off. Hold on. Can I do that? Can I? Yeah, I turned myself off. Okay. And there we go. This is what the body movement looks like. Exaggerated a bit more, only if they pay me more. This is a simple rig, which means it only has the very basics of movements. Basically, this is the bare bones of VTuber tracking. It felt a bit stiff. Do you want me to just magically conjure up physics or something? That's not how that works. The head has full physics already. The body, not a single physic. I literally just did the movement. I just did the basic movements. What do you want from me? You're right though that the skirt isn't quite right, but it looks good. That's not what you said earlier. The skirt did look awkward though. Just used to your other works with full range motion. What do you think would happen if I turn off the physics on those models? Do you think that would look stiff? Because I can guarantee you that it will. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, you know what? Skirt looks better this way. We fixed the skirt. And those are the basic body angles. By the way, for the face, she looks expressive, right? She looks very expressive. But the thing is, this is without V-Bridger. This model does not have V-Bridger at all. So this is just basic face tracking. Usually V-Bridger is like a cheat to make the face look super expressive. But even without V-Bridger, you can still make the face super expressive. Also, she does not have any eye physics, which is also part of like the simple rigging that I do. Like the bare bones rigging does not have eye physics. But there's still depth to the eyes. But yeah, You can make a standard rig even without VBridger look super expressive. VBridger is just a cheat to make it look expressive. And this isn't just my rigging, by the way. This is also me making faces behind the camera. And that is part of it, you know, face acting. Face acting is part of it. Wonder how much does expressiveness also depend on camera quality? Not that much, surprisingly. Surprisingly, not that much. It's all about your own face. For example, I'm gonna show you the difference, okay? Let me show you the difference real quick. Okay, so this is how I'm talking right now, right? She looks super expressive. But what if I talk like this? What if I just sit here and talk like this? Does she still look expressive? Sure, the movement looks smooth, but is this still expressive? Not as much? Exactly! Exactly! So, a lot of the expressiveness of a VTuber model is face acting. It is face acting. And I have started to do that kind of instinctually, to the point where it's kind of annoying. But yeah, when I'm basically piloting a VTuber model, I make myself more expressive so that it translates to the tracking. Taking notes? Yeah. Because, like, if you want the most out of your VTuber model, I rig models super expressive already. I have a habit of making super expressive facial rigs. But you can't make full use of it unless you're actually face acting behind the camera. And like I said, even without VBridger, you can still make super expressive rigs. Just combine expressive rigging just as a baseline with face acting. And even without VBridger, it can be super expressive. Don't be a stone behind camera, got it. Basically, yeah. I sometimes drop the face rigging when I'm particularly tired. But if I'm trying to make a point, like I am now, I can do the face acting. Also, when I make VTuber model showcases, I do a lot of face acting. Like a ton of face acting. Just to get the full potential of the model out, you know? But there is a big difference between VBridger and non-VBridger as well, because if I bring myself back, where am I? BTS, there we go. If I bring myself back real quick, and let's move this to the side. Ah, hi Hatsu. And if I make myself bigger for a second so you can see. Okay, so the expressiveness, as you can see, there is a bit of a difference in expressiveness between regular and VBridger. There's a few things regular tracking can't do compared to VBridger, which are this. This. And this. Does that make sense? So there's a few things. Mostly mouth movement though. It is mostly mouth movement. Oop. And there we go. Let me put myself back over here. So yeah. I hope that explanation helped. Okay. Response seemed a bit faster with VBridger. Yeah. that is... is it? No, I think that's just Live2D because I have external application on. I think that's just Live2D. No, because I'm using VBridger to track her as well. She just doesn't have VBridger parameters. Because, like, I'm using the same camera to track both models at the same time. I hope you realize that. I'm using the same camera to track both. And both are being tracked with an iPhone. Which has the correct parameters for VBridger built in. Yeah, so to make the most out of a VTuber model, VBridger is like a bit of a cheat to get more expressiveness out of the model. But VBridger is iPhone only. So there's the difference. It's because iPhone has facial recognition built in. And it's using the facial recognition get more parameters. If that makes sense. Oh, why did my face tracking stop? Because my internet dropped. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. No, thank you, VBridger. Yeah. I use VBridger personally. I have an iPhone. I have an iPhone specifically to use VBridger. But I am also a Live2D rigger, so I kind of have to. So, yeah. Thought that pause was on my end. No, my internet just dropped. Sorry about that. Do you want me to just speed run physics so you can kind of see how it would look with physics? I can do that. I can speed run the physics if you want. Let's say body physics. Arm L1. Physics, arm L1. Blunt shape. Arm L2. And again, this is a simple rig, so we just have two arm physics parameters. So let's see, R1, replicate. Got a thing against Apple phones, but VBridger is helpful. No arguing there. Yeah, I feel the same. I generally dislike Apple products, but it's kind of my job to figure this out. So, chest X, physics, chest X, replicate physics chest y. Those are the body parameters. I think wings would fall in their body. Physics, wings, x1. Physics, wings, x2. Wings, y1. Physics, wings, y2. I mean, I said I would speedrun the physics, but I would actually prefer to take my time on them. I guess I can do it like quick. I'd still prefer to take my time though, that's the thing. Let's leave the tail alone for now. How about that? How about we leave the tail out of this for now? How about we leave the wings out of this for now? These are bound, right? They are bound, okay. Oop. Don't forget about them later though. I won't. I won't. Then let's see, clothing physics. We can do that real quick as well. Collar x1. x1. x2. Okay, I'm going to speedrun them, but I do need to refine them after this. I'm gonna spend a lot more hours on this. I just want to get the basic movements in place so you guys can stop complaining that it looks stiff. X2. Y1. Y2. Physics, chest, bow, x1. Replicate parameter, x2. Y1. Y2. Let's see. Skirts. Skirts. Skirts x1. X2. y3. Y1. Replicate Y2. Oh, hiya, welcome to the stream. Skirt frills X. Physics skirt frills X. And then skirt frills Y. Skirts details X. Okay. Physics skirt details X. Have to think about that for a second. And then Y, we're just putting in the necessary parameters that we're gonna be dealing with. Model looking gorgeous, thank you. Chat's been complaining that it looks too stiff, so I'm speed running physics. Back bow X1. Phys back bow X1. Replicate X2. By chat she means me. Well, I didn't want to call you out. I did not want to call you out. Just let the record show that I did not name names. Speedrunning physics. Yeah, I'm gonna refine them later, and it's actually just going to take me hours to refine this when I get to that. But for now, I can put in the basic movements fairly quickly, maybe, probably. Y2. Y3. Okay, this is all I need for now. Via I am chat. You are chat. And we'll do the wings and the tail later, because that's a whole different headache that I'm not dealing with when I'm trying to speedrun. Okay. So we take arm left. We grab all of that. And there's a trick to this, actually. Okay, do you guys want to see a trick? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rotation deformer, and I'm gonna put the arm in it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bind this to the arm L1, and we're gonna go up and down. That might be too far up. Let's reduce that a bit. There we go. And you know, it's a good rotation, but I can't deform it when it's in a rotation deformer. Like it literally will not. Like, see? It's super stiff when it's in there. So here's the magic trick. You ready? We go into modeling. And then we go into, let's see, deformer. And then we press apply deformer to child elements. And now we can deform this properly. How cool is that? Yeah, it's neat. I know, right? It's a bit of a cheat. Um, it's a bit of a cheat. It's a neat little magic trick that Live2D riggers use to get a smooth rotation. By the way, I'm definitely going to need to tone down physics on this, because what is this? Anyway. Okay. Then for L2, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a temporary warp deformer. And we're gonna have a bit more of a messy rotation. Getting really good at those cheats. Okay, and what we want to do here, extended interpolation, eclipse, 3 points, and then we want to anchor the shoulder down so that the upper arm doesn't move. But the lower arm does. Okay. Now let's see how that looks. In physics. Oh, okay. Hi, hello. I did not disconnect. Let me disconnect. Okay, there we go. And now I can move her around again. So we add arm left physics. Okay. Let's say body input. And then I have arms, and then we add body Y as angle. Want this to be 80. This can be 20. We want this to be position. Angle 100. I want to turn the angle up to 30. Actually, let's turn this down to 60. Okay. And now we want arm L. And now we swing the pendulum around. Increase output. 25. 41. I want to reflect body Y. Is it starting to look less stiff now? Is this starting to look less stiff? Effectiveness, let's set this to 70. Yes? Okay, good. What if I... Actually, that looks better. Ooh, but that's a bit rough. Okay. And let's keep it like this. Let's turn the effectiveness of that down even further. And then let's put this to 60. Okay. And that is the arm movement. And then we do the same on the other side. Very simple, very easy. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna create a rotation deformer. Place this inside. Make sure this is somewhat even. Okay. And now what we're gonna do, again, modeling, deformer, apply deformer to child elements. Let's see. Okay, that looks good. Save? Sure. Okay. And then we want to swing the arms in. And out. Extended interpolation, eclipse 3. Anchor down the upper arm. There we go. And then we duplicate this. And instead of arm left, it's gonna be arm right. We can keep all of the same stats. Although I might have to switch this around. And then output settings, we want... Where is it? Arm right. There we go. Now, okay. It still clips into this, which is not ideal. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna invert mask. And we're gonna say arm down. Do not intersect with that. And like magic, it is on top. Invert clipping is so useful. Okay. Well, the rest of the body still looks stiff, so we're gonna have to fix that as well. reflect motion. And then we do this. Oh. Lift. And down. Okay. And that should be fine. Body input. Well, obviously we were gonna make it bouncy. Okay. That's fine. It's not too exaggerated. It's just a little bit of a bounce to it. Then we duplicate and we say we want chest Y. And we say body Y. There we go. And usually I keep this on 2 pendulums, but this is a simple rig and we're trying to speed run the physics, so we're keeping it at this. Clothes. Okay. This is a lot. This is a lot. So we want X1, which is gonna be this. Reflect motion. X2 is gonna be this. Reflect motion. See, Y1, Y2. It's gonna be down here. What are you doing, Luna? Okay. Let's get all the frills done. Let's just get all the frills done. So we can put all of those in a physics group. I know your eyes are up there, but I blame gravity. I am honestly too focused right now to really pay that much attention. Oh. That's not drawn out far enough. Okay. And that is side 1. Now we need to do the other side as well. Again, I'm just going quickly right now. I can feel bunny ears on my foot. Oop. Again, not drawn out far enough. Luckily, they're staying still at the moment. Has Luna stopped nesting? Oh yeah, a while ago. She realized she's a dumbass. Well, this is unfortunate. The frills here are merged with the chest, which means this is gonna be extremely difficult for me to move them. I wish they were separated. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Okay, I can work around it. It's not great, but this is the most I can do with it, to be honest. Yeah, not much I can do about that. I forgot I need to do that as well. Detail rigging. I'll do detail rigging later. You know what? Detail rigging is a problem for future me. Okay. Reflect motion on that. Okay, and then Y. Okay, that's fine. Now we're gonna save this. Details next stream. I don't know if I'm going to be working on this model or a different model next stream. It's kind of like whatever model I am currently working on is what you're going to see. Frills X. One body input. Let's see. What am I going to do for frills? I guess just a standard double pendulum is fine. X. Frills X. Skirt. Frills. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 1. Increase. Let's turn that down a little. Uh, 31. Okay. I like that. And then we duplicate and we say this is Y. Input settings, body Y, delete, output settings. This should automatically switch over all of them. And yes, it does. Okay, cool. That works as intended. That's looking good. So we got the frills X and Y done. And then let's see, bow, skirt, details, bow. Okay, gonna work on the bow. See, Y2. And I will eventually put more depth into this as well, but not right now. Okay, let's do the same on this side. Okay. Then up. Oop. I can do details later. For now, let's just get this done. Over to this side. Cute bow. Yay! Super cute. I might put this on different parameters as well eventually. But we are speeding through the physics. Bows take a long time, just like hair. So I'm just trying to get this done right now. Extended interpolation, eclipse 3. I might just not do the back bow for now, you know? I might just not do that. I might just do the skirt and say, fuck it, that's enough. Okay, now I want to anchor that. Make sure that doesn't float around. And then we do the same with this. I'll get this done eventually. Yeah, bows take a long time because there's a lot to deform. Like I said, it's the same principle as hair. Down. Up. And down. Now I want to grab this, copy, paste. Okay. Yeah, let's leave the bow, like the back bow, for a different time. I'm not doing that right now. So we're gonna turn that off. Just, we don't want to deal with it, so let's turn it off. Yeah, welcome to the stream. We are speed running physics right now. Okay, let's see. And then we want the skirt in its entirety. It's gonna be a little bit rough, but bear with me. Yeah. And then we reflect the motion to that side. But we want to anchor the middle down, so gonna do that. It's a little bit too much. So we're just going to make a smooth transition here. And anchor that down like that. So we're gonna do extended interpolation, eclipse 3. Okay, that's doing its thing. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the bottom and just swing the bottom back and forth. Reflect motion. Okay. And then up and down. And then reflect motion. And then for skirt Y, it's gonna move like that. And then grab the bottom and stretch that out. Okay. Then again, we grab the part at the waist. And we make sure that doesn't move as much. There we go. And then we can do the skirt details. Up and down. There we go. Okay. Now let's put that in physics. I haven't done the physics for the bow yet, so let's do that first. Bow X. Preset. Let's say the same preset as the hair is probably fine for this. Add one, two, three.
Have you stopped streaming?
Nope.
Oh, I just haven't heard you talk for a while.
Oh, that's because I'm very focused. increase output. Then we say that's 24, 23. Let's put this on 22. No, it's fine. Okay. 13. That's a very smooth bow. But I like it. I like it. So let's do bow Y. And we want to say body Y on that. And we're gonna switch that over. There we go. And that is smooth motion. So now what we want to do, skirt X. Body inputs. And I have a custom one for skirts. Nothing escapes me. I have custom things for everything. Then 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there's main skirt physics and detailed skirt physics. It's so cool. Just learn a new trick. Yeah, feel free to ask me anything, by the way. I'm just speedrunning this. I'll probably spend a lot more time on refining the physics movement, but I'm trying to prove chat wrong right now. So I am currently doing it fairly fast. That is too aggressive. Okay, let's turn that down. What if I put this on 80 and this on 40? Not stiff? Okay, thank you. Ooh, that is bouncy. That is more jumpy than I would like it. Where did I mess up? Probably here, if we're gonna be real honest. Yeah. I see it. I see it. Okay. Let's see if that's better. Oh yeah. It's still a little bit jumpy, but it's better than it was. Okay, so what if we just turn this down all the way? No, we want it to be a little bit more than that. Let's turn this down maybe. Oh yeah, I prefer that. We should also add the details in it. Let's put this on number 2. Oh yeah, that looks good. Now we duplicate this and we say skirt Y. And we go body Y. And then delete skirt X3 first. And then everything should switch over automatically when I press Y1. Yeah, there we go. Don't forget to save. Will do. Okay, I could make that smoother. I like the initial motion. It could be smoother. So I will work on refining that later, but for now, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna turn the tracking on again. Remember when you said the body motion looked stiff? Remember when you said it looked stiff? I do need to turn this down, actually. Say 70. Mm, 80. Okay, that's fine. Now, let me turn myself off here. And that is what the body angles look like. Is looking great movement-wise. I mean, if it's not, you can let me know. You are allowed to let me know if this does not look good. I did speedrun the physics here, so it might be a little bit jumpy. But this is what the movement will look like. Also, if it looks a little bit stiffer than my usual rigs, that's because my usual rigs have like 3 times the amount of physics. So, you know. But yeah. Let's turn that off. There we go. Hi, hello, I'm back. I think I'm gonna end it here, actually. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. It's been 2 hours. Oh, and I need to work on refining the details. But yeah. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys!